We made it! So, Happy New Year, everybody. I do not have balloons or any like confetti or whistle thingy, so these Tajay plastic bags will have to do to throw into the new year. But yeah, Happy New Year and welcome to my channel. My name is Rufaro. Let's get it in today's video. I will be going over one of the tools I'm using for planning 2020. So this is called the Year Ahead Planner. One of my best friends sent me this, and actually she's been using this since last year, but I guess it was 2019, 2020. And the first time she gave it to me, I was like, okay, no, because there's so many things for planning for the year that's coming, so many things for reflection, so many people throwing things at you on 2020 planning. And personally, I've always set goals for the new year and then I completely forget about them. I lose the paper I wrote on. I don't know what's happening. So I said today, let me try something new, let me be dedicated, let me go with it. So I will be going over, basically, as I mentioned, the tool I'm using for this year. I'll also be going over reflection, and lastly I will be sharing with you my word for 2021. I'm excited about this video because I also have some steps for you guys, so please stay tuned in this video if there's something you're interested in. Enjoy, subscribe, like this video, and I'll also put the link for where you can access this lovely little, I guess you make a little journal of yours. Well, firstly, right, as I mentioned, this is it's called the Year Ahead. It is, I guess, licensed and printed by Creative Commons. And what I absolutely love about this, compared to the other ones I've seen and I've used, is that it starts off by literally going over 2020. So there's a reflection side, and then there's also planning for 2021. As you can see here, this is what we have. On the left where it says page 2 is just giving you the instructions, and then of course page 3 is saying. Then on page 4 it shows us going through your calendar year, which is great reflection for you. We move on to page 5. My favorite thing about this is it also stresses your emotions, how you felt in those moments. For instance, here, when it says the best moments, describe the greatest and memorable, joyful moments of your year. It talks about what were you doing, what kind of smells, sounds, what taste do you remember? And that, my friend, is key. Thinking about how you felt, what was surrounding you. So one of the questions it will ask is like, let's say, what didn't you achieve in 2020? And you have to write it down. I wrote down what I didn't achieve, and I actually have to reflect and look back. And then I have to think about how I felt when I didn't achieve those things, right? Another thing it asks is, maybe what was one of your most memorable things of 2020? And again, you have to think through, what did I feel? What was I wearing? What was I eating? That type of thing. And you're really using all your senses, because what I learned is that it's really great to set goals like financial, health goals, etc. But it's super important as well to know how you want to feel, so that with each thing you're doing, you keep trying to get back to that feeling. So it's the same as when you're thinking of things you enjoy doing. They always say, how do you feel? Right? When you do karaoke, how do you feel? For me, I love karaoke. How do I feel? When I finished a killer workout, how do I feel? Those are the things you're trying to go after each year. So think of that in 2020, and then hopefully you can then carry that over to 2021. When you print this, be smart with how you print it. I didn't print this in the neatest way. The next thing as well I'll go over, still under the reflection piece of this book, is what would your title for 2020 be if it was a book? I saw this question and I was really like, I really had to think, because although I love writing, if you haven't checked out some of my pieces, throwing a plug, I'm a blogger, I'm a writer, I have books that should be coming out hopefully next year, and coming up with the title is always one of the hardest things, I feel. And for some reason, coming up with the title for my 2020 was not that hard. The title for my book for the year of 2021 would be life changes that suit me. I really learned a lot in 2020 about putting myself first, about taking care of myself, about being okay with branching into a different path that I hadn't planned in going into. I learned to be okay with, I've always talked about pivoting, but the type of pivots that I had to make last year were very different, pivots I'd never made in my life before. I think 2020 also taught me to forgive myself. That was one of the biggest things I had to learn. Forgive myself from any failed mistakes, from any things I've done to myself. And again, that's what I'm saying, life changes that suit me. I had to really get into that state of mind. I'm not saying it was because, oh, I'm being selfish. No, it was just very empowering to start thinking like that. So yeah, I'll throw it out there. Really think about what the title of your book would be for the previous year, and then think of 3 words to define last year for you. Then what this book then does is, well, I'm calling it a book because I folded it up like a book, is that it then says, okay, you've done with the reflection part, take a deep breath, exhale, and now you're moving on to 2021. And then it has a whole bunch of other questions for goal setting, how you want to be with your family, friends, etc. But what I want to really talk about is my favorite bit on it, when it says your word for 2021. And I had to really sit down and think. And I'm starting off the year with 21 days of intention, and that was my word, being intentional, just intentional. So every single thing I'm doing is, what is the intention? What is my why behind this thing? And am I being intentional? Why am I just scrolling through Instagram? Why am I doing this? What is the intention? And you know, they say it takes 21 days to break a habit. So my 21 days of intentionality should then transfer to 365 days of intention. So I urge you to think of a word for 2020. Think of that word and then build your mission statement around that word for your life for 2020. So again, as I mentioned, I'm going to put this link in the description bar, and definitely think about this. This is just one of the tools I'm using for planning for my 2020. I might do other videos on my vision board that I'm doing because I'm a very visual person. And then for another one that I actually saw from a channel I follow, and it was very, very detailed, which I absolutely loved as well. So hence I'm doing 3 things. But just to do a recap, I just went over what this tool is and why I absolutely love it, for just reflection and for really stressing on how I want to feel in 2021 comparing to how I felt in 2020. I also went over what I believe my title, if my life was a book in 2020, what it would be, and I'm urging you to do the same. And then my favorite, the word for 2021. So think about that. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, and share it with someone. And be intentional when you're watching this video. Be intentional in everything else you're doing. So enjoy 2020, guys. Bye. Oh, 2021, you know, we're not going back to 2020. Enjoy 2021.